What's happening? It's your boy Rebel POC, and I got a special video for y'all today. Don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you leave a comment so I know who you are and where you're from. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Rebel POC. And last but never least, hit that notification so you can get my next video. You dig? Alright, two things I want you to learn real quick in this video. Pay attention to a lady in the video. Can't think of her name. She's from the state of Minneapolis, and she's very... Just pay attention to her. She's an ass. She kind of like what's going on. And two, pay attention to the difference how they use these words, accountability and responsibility. Check out the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Are able to know who is paying to influence our political system, at the very least, when we know we also have unpaid influence. Do you think it would be helpful to know who is paying to influence our political system?
Senator, I'm very reluctant to express a view about your legislation on the spur of the moment, but I'll be happy to take a look at it.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Senator Hawley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to start by noting my surprise to hear from my Democrat colleagues that the Mueller report is now of no consequence. After what they put this country through for years on end, endless investigations, millions of dollars spent, an impeachment inquiry against the President of the United States, and now we hear from person after person on that side of the dais that the Mueller report is of no consequence. No consequence? I kind of happen to think that the successful weaponization of the FBI by a presidential campaign, by the Hillary Clinton presidential campaign, for the first time in American history, getting the FBI to submit to a federal court false information, to get a wiretap during a presidential campaign. I kind of think that that is a relevant piece of information that maybe ought to be within the jurisdiction and the cognition of this committee. Of course, now my Democrat friends say there's nothing to see here, because now we have one of the largest scandals ever to engulf the FBI and the DOJ. Let me just remind you, Mr. Rosenstein, about what the FISA court said when it found out that it had been systematically lied to by the FBI and the Department of Justice. This is what the court said, sua sponte, on its own, and I quote, "The FBI's handling of the Carter Page applications, as portrayed in the Inspector General's report, was antithetical to the heightened duty of candor that is owed to the court. The frequency with which these representations made by FBI personnel turned out to be unsupported or contradicted by information in their possession and with which they withheld information detrimental to their case calls into question whether information contained in other FBI applications is reliable," end quote. In other words, the FISA court now wonders if it can trust anything that the FBI says. Anything. Now, you signed off on a FISA application to a federal court in an ex parte proceeding, which means the other side didn't have any chance to argue it. You signed off on it. It had 17 material misstatements, falsehoods, omissions. You signed off on it. You also said at the time you thought it was an above-average application.
Correct.
How could you sign off on something with this number of misrepresentations that the FISA court later came back and said, this destroys our trust in the FBI? You signed off on it personally.